Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Marinda Hall, and I'm your moderator here in Theatre 2 since this morning. We love to ask everyone who is sitting in these chairs over here, including you, to move all the way over here, because it's much easier for our speaker to speak to one group of people. So please move. Thank you. Thank you. And you can sit in front, we don't bite. You can also walk around this way, so you can take this side of the seats as well. Great. Thank you very much. So we have a series of presentations on parking. And this is our third one in Theatre 2. Giordana Ambrosi is coming to tell us about governing smart cities through smart parking management and strategies. And he's going to give us, because we heard quite a lot about using parking data, using that for decision making, but also what Giordano is going to show us is a case, and he's going to explain about that case and give you some takeaways. So, ladies and gentlemen, can I have a round of applause for Giordano Ambrosi? Yay! Thank you. Giordano, I'll be over there. If people have any questions, are they allowed to interrupt you, or would you rather have them at the end? What works for you?
Yes.
At the end?
No, I'm just saying that probably it's the PDF, not a PowerPoint presentation. So
okay.
I've asked for.
So you want another one? You
no,
need
no,
another
I
presentation?
want this one, but the PDF.
The PDF?
Yes, not the PowerPoint.
Okay.
If possible. Otherwise, I will go anyhow.
Okay. I'll run over there.
Yeah.
Are you able to start, or would you want to take it to a few minutes just to
No,
wait?
I'm able to start.
You'll start?
Anyhow. Yeah.
Okay. If anything goes wrong, I'll come up and you'll see me, yeah? Okay. If they have any questions, are they allowed to interrupt you, or would you rather have that at the end?
At the end would be okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So please remember your questions.
Yes.
Great. Take it away.
Yes, thank you. So hello everyone, I'm Giordano Ambrosi and I'm the marketing manager of Intercomp, which is a company based in Italy which is producing innovation since 1983 through hardware and software solutions. And among those, smart parking. And today I would like to tell you how we are shaping smart parking technologies in order to govern the mobility through an integrated on-street parking management solution, creating positive and sustainable effects on our environment. So, it doesn't go. Okay. First of all, I would like to say and connect also with the speech before. They were saying everything is changing at the present moment in around us. Politics, economy, cultures. They are stepping through new. Yes, perfect. So economy, culture, and industries, they are stepping through new technological horizons because of a multitude of evolving fields. And they are evolving because we do. We do have new technological methods of interacting with municipality. We have new devices. Even our language has changed. We say digital society, interconnected industry, or industry 4.0 in our normal workflow process in the communication. But the thing is that we are actually all talking about digital transformation, which is a process or a strategy which places the human in the middle of the digitization. So the need of the human, the way they are occurring, and the environment in which those needs are occurring, not only digital interfaces or mobile applications, it's wider the meaning of digital transformation. That's why back then, when we have started to develop the solution in 2002, we tied strongly to this meaning, the meaning of digital transformation and the perspective from human center. And by doing so, it came natural for us to look at the future of the developing of the solution by answering to questions of the critical issues we are facing. By 2050, the world populations will increase up to 10 billion citizens. And what it is going to happen? So which type of city will they choose to live in? They are also saying that part of those people will move from rural area toward the city centers. So which type of cities will they choose, the sustainable ones or the ones still in the process of developing? And will our technology will be able to satisfy all of these increasing and diversified needs? Well, I deem we will, because the parking solutions we have developed is able to provide very useful information toward users, administrators, and managers who can strategically use those data in order to create positive effects and strategies on our urban area. That's why I like the definition of saying that our technology is the solution able to govern all of the activities and the processes connected to integrated parking, because parking is an ecosystem composed of a multitude of moments that must be strategically governed. Indeed, again, parking is a mobility hub where things are connecting together, and user has diverse needs into a parking. So we must answer to questions such as where are the drivers coming from, and which service would they like to have integrated within the parking? Where are they going afterward? Which services should they use in order to connect? In order to do so, we have developed this type of architecture. It's composed of 3 phases. We have a data acquisition, a data management, and a data analysis. In the data acquisition, we have developed several devices, such as a mobile app for users who are using the app for paying the park, but not only, because since it is communicating with an ecosystem of technology, it can communicate with cameras and sensors, providing to the user the actual position of where they have to park and the type of park they are looking for eventually. Then, of course, we have parking meters that could be ours or even integrated, because the thing is, in the data acquisition phase I'm showing here, there are all of the devices we have developed in order to create a perfect equilibrium in order to get useful data. But the point in the beginning was also to create a technology which could be open to new technologies or the one already integrated into the city, because we must strategically govern all of the activity that are connected to the mobility connected to the parking. Then we have a data management phase where all of these data are getting stored and elaborated through our management software, which shares it in real time with all of the people who take an active role in the parking processes. So administrators, users, enforcement will receive personalized data according to their competences, so they can focus on actions and strategies. And then the analysis phase, where all of these actions and strategy can be measured, and then they can check out if they really improved the viability connected to the parking. And this is possible thanks to the business intelligence tools inside of our software. So, as you can imagine, this is an important intuition because it connects diversities, technologies, approaches, and ideas in order to create positive effects on our environment. And this must be the purpose of the technologies, create positive effects on our planet, on our urban areas. The architecture we have just seen, it allowed us to reach strategic goals in the municipalities we are working for. And this is because, as we have said before, we are governing this ecosystem, and so the experience of parking. And the first point I would like to start with is the mobility, governing the mobility. We say so because we facilitate the parking experiences, because users are parking for several reasons. We are parking because for leisure, or because we have to go to working, studying, and municipality must intercept those type of requests. So we said, like, how can we translate these things into a digital strategy? And so right now, if a users would like to park in somewhere, he can recognize himself or herself through an online or offline recognition, and then have access to specific incentives. And this is the case, for example, of in a city where we have developed a parking dedicated to people who have children. So they could park for free nearby pediatric offices or school by recognizing themselves with mobile app or parking meters. And in this way, they have access to these specific incentives. But this is just an approach that is applied, and it could be applied to any other social categories the municipality thinks there is a need. For example, people with disabilities, or even electric vehicles users. So this means governing the mobility. Then, of course, users must park and without losing time, but the point here is to provide administration with a very useful information to strategically govern these needs and provide answer to those needs. Because sometimes it means, for example, guarantee a citizen park, sometimes a right, sometimes advanced touristic service. And this is the point where a single element or the one partially integrated are not enough because they do not meet all of these requirements. We need a more in-depth information, which is provided by our solution, capable of tracking all of the data and the action from the moment of the research up to the point of parking, and eventually even afterward. Then, before we have seen that governing the mobility is an important social need, but right now I would like to share the idea that with our solution, governing the parking means also having a parking space able to talk. So we will have a graphic interface like the one projected here on the screen that will provide us useful information about each single parking bay. Because again, when we thought of the parking, we thought of it as a variable activity composed of a multitude of moments that characterize the cities in which we are living in. So let's think where we are right now. We are in a trade show, but there could be events, market, and all of these facts should no longer stack the traffic of our cities. We must strategically govern it. So by our solution, it's eventually possible even to create a specific tariff policy able to create incentives or offers toward specific areas and specific users. In this way, we can create, of course, benefits on the economic side and on the social side, but also on environment, because by balancing the tariff policies, we are also balancing the traffic connected to the parking, as they said before. And with this strategy, we are, of course, obtaining economic, social, and environmental benefits that the citizens perceive, because they see a municipality that can really understand the new movement demands. Having this type of data means also understanding the dimension of the territory, the dimension of the area dedicated to the parking. As we have seen before, the value of the area rather than the occupancy rate, but for real, with the sensors and with the integrated ecosystem technologies. And this allows us to understand this type of dimension, but also how to better integrate other city services. We could have new bus stops or taxi stops, but on the other hand, we could have, for example, new smart city services, electric vehicles or bike sharing, car sharing. This is the place where a municipality and society can really make the difference, combining approach and ideas, proposing then a new way of city life living. Then, the speaker before me told about hours spent into a car in order to find a specific parking space. But hours we translated into real data, which is the CO2 we were able to cut down in Treviso, because Treviso municipality is a municipality in which we have strategically implemented back in 2010 a non-street parking management solution. And it's a city that has a size of approximately 80,000 citizens, and we are managing approximately 2,600 parking spaces. So by optimizing the road that users were doing through smart road signs rather than with a mobile app, we are able to cut down this amount of CO2 per year. And then, again, connecting to the point I was saying before, they reached another strategic environment goal. Back then, when they've started with a parking management solution, they thought they need also to increase the availability of the parking spaces into the city with an off-street parking structures implemented or to be implemented into the city center. So they start with both of the project, but luckily we started first. And after a few months, they've used our solution. They figured out that in the beginning, the off-street parking structure was no longer necessary. They could solve it with the smart information and guiding the user toward that specific place. After several years, they figured out that the availability became a problem because, as we have seen in the beginning, population is increasing needs. But the point is that thanks to our solution, they could better understand where to place it. So again, connected parking and connected effects. Then, economic increase. In Treviso, still, they figure it out, but I think every of us understood that parking is a business and a very remunerative business if administrated wisely. So, thanks to the data we gained, we obtained through the management in Treviso, we are able to understand the impact of our solution, so the possible return that there could be after implementing our solution. And on the other hand, also, the value that we can produce out of the investments that it is made in the beginning. So all of this value that we are creating, it can be invested again into mobility services, into citizen service. And then, social virtuosity, that's my favorite achievement because it explains how the economic increase and all of the effect we have obtained actually happened. And it happened without burden on citizens, but rather citizens understood the value of the solution. So they increased the use. And thanks to that strategic govern of the tariff, they were able also to model the average of ticket fee per hour. And I also kept a tiny point concerning the enforcement unit, that it was cut down for 50%, that it doesn't mean unemployment, just those resources were moved to area where the municipality has more need. But the point here is the optimizations of the processes. So we were able to optimize the processes thanks to the data, the maintenance operators, but even enforcement, because the enforcement that are using our solution, they are no longer a detective checking car by car, but they can analyze data and understand where the violations are mostly happen, because they figured out that there are specific areas in which the violations were happening, or specific times or time gap in which those violations were happening. So they were intervening against a phenomenon of illegality connected to the parking, not only a single case. Then, sustainable service, because digital transformation, since it is placing the human in the center, is a sustainable service. And here is just an example I wanted to bring to you in order to explain you the approach we use when we are developing the smart parking solutions. So here is a mobile application we are going to release briefly, where when we have started to develop, we focused on two main points. The first one is that users are looking for specific places. They are not looking for streets, or they are not looking for district, but they are looking for specific places. And the second point was that users has diverse social needs. So we translate it into a digital strategy by developing, first of all, a model, a search model that could be implemented into the application in order to allow a user to search for a specific place, a restaurant, a bar, integrated with Google Maps, helping him to move toward that and understanding the availability of the parking spaces around that specific area. And the other one, instead, is concerning the social need that we have said into the beginning. So the first one was the input for the driver, who was authorizing himself through a mobile app rather than app subscription. In here, we can adjust it by providing to him already a graphic interview of where those social needs are. So a filter map view where electric vehicle parking is, rather than the parking for people with a disability. So they can directly go to that specific place. This means digital transformations and sustainable services. So summing everything up, our solution is a technology able to govern all of the activities and the processes connected to the parking. And we are able even to integrate other services. And by the analysis, the municipality can create strategies on top of it. So we are ready today, and we would like to undertake together an innovation of the mobility services along with you, with managers, with administrators. We have been doing it since 2002, answering today's needs, as well as we're going to answer to the necessities of the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, I see a question already. Great. Let me just run around here. Could you introduce yourself as well? Thank you.
Yes, indeed. Hi, Giuliano Caldo from Easy Park. We don't know each other. I have, first of all, congratulations on this wonderful story. Really brilliant, very proving that you can really use technology in a complex way to solve people's problems.
Keep the microphone close.
So the question is this: out of looking at the improvements in mobility that were introduced, that were achieved through this construct, what would you say is the single change that created the greatest impact, the greatest improvement on mobility? Out of the many things that you introduced, what is the single most important thing that you have seen that has been most effective in improving the mobility?
By improving, I mean, already the data, I would say, but maybe it's a very wide answer. But for example, with the data concerning where the free space is, the municipality could move drivers toward that place. So already, like, that is an optimization of many processes connected indeed to the environment and to the economy. And then also with the value of the parking space, single parking space data, municipality have a whiteboard in which can write a new concept of living, even as we have said, as we have seen before, incentives. I made some example about some categories, but every city changes by populations, dimension, or industries, and it's up to us and administrators and managers to understand which is the best answer for that specific area, and by understanding the meaning of that data. And yeah, that's possible because it's deep. So maybe the deepness even of the data is even more important.
Good. Thank you. Thanks for the question. Anyone else? I think you were very clear. Thank you.
There's a question.
Yes.
Hello. Hello.
Yes.
My name is Nikos. I come from Cyprus. I can give an input of what Giordano said. We are partners. Right now in Paphos municipality in Cyprus, they want to understand the value of a monthly subscription with the time that each car parking on the parking space. So they will correlate the relationship of a monthly subscription with the time that actually these cars parking there. So the data are really important and can give very insightful information.
Yes, the usage data, because the point of having an ecosystem of technologies, so both hardware and software, allow us to have these type of informations, and it really opens the mind of the municipality, saying like, okay, in this area, for example, I can create an incentives for those type of users or who has this type of necessities and or subscriptions, and they can actually use if a subscription is effectively used. So all of these elements are in a way of ameliorating the city areas and the urban areas.
Great. Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Let's give us a round of applause.
Yeah, thank you.
If you'd like to stay put, we have at 3:30, we have Thierry Brusseau from Flowbird to tell us something. Oh, why am I using this? To tell us something about curbside access parking and with a digital evolution of on-street parking with infrastructure for on-street parking. If you're interested, come back at 3:30. That's 20 minutes, 15 minutes from now. See you in a bit. And if not, have fun, enjoy the show.